All right, hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be picking back up in Exodus. I made a mistake last week with the title of the Torah section. It was not Bo, but it was He appeared, and I got those mixed up because the schedule that I have it's really close together. It's like single spacing, so I got a little confused. But yeah, that's it is he has appeared, but it's not Bo. This Torah portion for today is Bo, so that's what we'll be picking up from right now. And let me see here. It goes from Exodus 10 to 13. I think 13:3. I'll have to double check that. Yeah, Exodus 10 to 13:16. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. And this Torah portion is called Bo, and English is called to come in. Exodus chapter 10. And Yah said to Moshe, "Go into Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the hearts of his servants, so that I show these signs of mine before him, and that you relate in the hearing of your son and your son's son what I have done in Mitzrayim, and my signs which I have done among them, and you shall know that I am Yah." And Moshe and Aharon came in to Pharaoh and said to him, "Thus said Yah, Elohim of the Ibrim, till when shall you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, so that they serve me. Or else, if you refuse to let my people go, see, tomorrow I am bringing locusts within your borders, and they shall cover the surface of the land, so that no one is able to see the land. And they shall eat the rest of what has escaped, which remains to you from the hail, and they shall eat every tree which grows up for you out of the field. And they shall fill your houses, and the houses of all your servants, and the houses of all the Mitzrites, which neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen, since the day they were on the earth to this day." Then he turned and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said to him, "Till when would this one be a snare to us? Let the men go, so that they serve Yah, their Elohim. Do you not yet know that Mitzrayim is destroyed?" And Moshe and Aharon were brought back to Pharaoh, and he said to them, "Go, serve Yah, your Elohim." "Who are the ones that are going?" And Moshe said, "We are going with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters. With our flocks and our herds we were going. With our flocks and our herds we are going, for we have a festival to Yah." And he said to them, "Let Yah be with you, as I let you and your little ones go. Watch, for evil is before your face. Not so. You men go now and serve Yah, for that is what you desired." And they were driven out from the presence of Pharaoh. And Yah said to Moshe, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Mitzrayim, for the locusts to come upon the land of Mitzrayim, and eat every plant of the land, all that the hail has left." And Moshe stretched out his rod over the land of Mitzrayim, and Yah brought an east wind on the land all that day and all that night. Morning came, and the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Mitzrayim, and settled within all the borders of Mitzrayim, very grievous. There had never been locusts like them before, nor would there again be like them. And they covered the surface of all the land, so that the land was darkened. And they ate every plant of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And no greenness was left on the trees, or on the plants of the field, in all the land of Mitzrayim. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aharon in haste, and said, I have sinned against Yah, your Elohim, and against you. And now, please bear my sin only this once, and pray to Yah, your Elohim, that he would only turn away this death from me. And he went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Yah. And Yah turned a very strong west wind, which took the locusts away, and blew them into the sea of reeds. Not one locust was left within all the borders of Mitzrayim. However, Yah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the children of Yasharel go. And Yah said to Moshe, stretch out your hand toward the Shamayim, and let there be darkness over the land of Mitzrayim, even a darkness which is felt. And Moshe stretched out his hand toward the Shamayim, and there was thick darkness in all the land of Mitzrayim. Excuse me. For 3 days. They did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days, while all the children of Yasharel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called to Moshe and said, go, serve Yah, only leave your flocks and your herds behind. Let your little ones go with you too. But Moshe said, you yourself are to provide us with slaughterings and burnt offerings, to prepare for Yah, our Elohim. And our livestock are to go with us too. Not a hoof is to be left behind, for we have to take some of them to serve Yah, our Elohim, and we ourselves do not know with what we are able to serve Yah until we come there. However, Yah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said to him, go away from me, watch yourself, and see my face no more, for in the day you see my face you die. And Moshe said, you have spoken rightly. Never again do I see your face. And Yah said to Moshe, I am bringing yet one more plague on Pharaoh and on Mitzrayim. After that, he is going to let you go from here. When he lets you go, he shall drive you out from here altogether. Speak now in the hearing of the people, and let every man ask from his neighbor, and every woman from her neighbor, objects of silver and objects of gold. And Yah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites, and the man Moshe was very great in the land of Mitzrayim, in the eyes of Pharaoh's servants, and in the eyes of the people. And Moshe said, thus said Yah, about midnight I am going into the midst of Mitzrayim, and all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servant who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of cattle. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, such as has never been or ever be again. But against any of the children of Yasharel no dog shall move its tongue against man or against beast, so that you know that Yah makes distinction between Mitzrayim and Yasharel. And all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet. And after that I shall go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great displeasure. And Yah said to Moshe, Pharaoh is not going to listen to you in order to multiply my wonders in the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe and Aharon did all these wonders before Pharaoh. However, Yah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the children of Yasharel go out of his land. And Yah spoke to Moshe and to Aharon in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, This month is the beginning of months for you. It is the first month of the year for you. Speak to all the congregation of Yasharel, saying, On the 10th day of this month, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the beings, according to each man's need. You make your count for the lamb. Let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats. And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Yasharel shall kill it between the evenings, and they shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel of the houses where they eat it. And they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire, with unleavened bread and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roast it in fire, its head with its legs and its inward parts. And do not leave of it until morning, and what remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it: your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is the Pesach of Yah. And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that day, and shall smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast, and on all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim I shall execute judgment. I am Yah. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I smite the land of Mitzrayim. And this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall observe it as a festival to Yah throughout your generations. Observe it as a festival, an everlasting law. An everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Yasharel. And on the first day is a Kodesh gathering, and on the 7th day you have a Kodesh gathering, No work at all is done on them, only that which is eaten by every being, that alone is prepared by you. And you shall guard the matzot, for on this same day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law. In the first of the 14th day of the month, in the evening, you shall eat unleavened bread. Until the 21st day of the month, in the evening. For 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses. For if anyone eats what is leavened, the same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Yasharel, whether sojourner or native of the land. Do not eat that which is leavened. In all your dwellings you are to eat unleavened bread. And Moshe called for all the elders of Yasharel and said to them, Go out and take lambs for yourselves according to your clans, and slaughter the Pesach. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And you, none of you, shall go out of the door of his house until morning. And Yah shall pass on to smite the Mitzrites, and shall see the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts. And Yah shall pass over the door, and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. And you shall guard this word as a law for you, and as a law for you and your sons forever. And it shall be, when you come to the land which Yah gives you, as he promised, that you shall guard this service. And it shall be, when your children say to you, What does this service mean to you? Then you shall say, It is the Pesach. It is the Pesach slaughtering of Yah, who passed over the houses of the children of Yasharel in Mitzrayim, when he smote the Mitzrites and delivered our households. And the people bowed their heads and did obeisance. And the children of Yasharel went away and did so, as Yah had commanded Moshe and Aharon, so they did. And it came to be at midnight that Yah smote all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Mitzrites. And there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not a dead one. Then he called for Moshe and Aharon by night, and said, Arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Yasharel, and go serve Yah, as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and go. Then you shall bachrach me too. And the Mitzrites urged the people to hasten to send them away out of the land, for they said, We are all dying. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound in their garments on their shoulders. And the children of Yasharel had done according to the word of Moshe. And they had asked from the Mitzrites objects of silver and objects of gold and garments. And Yah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites, so that they gave them what they asked, and they plundered the Mitzrites. And the children of Yasharel departed from Ramesses Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones. And a mixed multitude went up with them too, also flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they had brought out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mitzrayim, and had not been able to delay. Nor had they prepared food for themselves. And the sojourn of the children of Yasharel, who lived in Mitzrayim, was 430 years. And it came to be, at the end of the 430 years, on the same day, it came to be that all the divisions of Yah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. It is a night to be observed unto Yah. It is a night to be observed unto Yah, for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This night is unto Yah, to be observed by all the children of Yasharel throughout their generations. And Yah said to Moshe and Aharon, This is the law of the Pesach. No son of a stranger is to eat of it, but any servant a man has bought for silver, when you have circumcised him, then let him eat of it. A sojourner and a hired servant does not eat of it. It is eaten in one house. You are not to take any of the flesh outside the house, nor are you to break any bone of it. All the congregation of Yasharel are to perform it. And when a stranger sojourns with you, and shall perform the Pesach to Yah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and perform it, and he shall be as a native of the land. But let no uncircumcised eat of it. There is one Torah for the native born, and for the stranger who sojourns among you. And all the children of Yasharel did as Yah commanded Moshe and Aharon. So they did. And it came to be on that same day that Yah brought the children of Yasharel out of the land of Mitzrayim according to their divisions. Chapter 13. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, And Yah said to Moshe, saying, Kadosh to me all the firstborn, and the one opening the womb among the children of Yasharel, among man and among beast. It is mine. And Moshe said to the people, Remember this day in which you went out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery. For by strength of hand Yah brought you out of this place, and whatever is leavened shall not be eaten. Today you are going out in the month of Abib. And it shall be, when Yah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day is a festival to Yah. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7 days, and whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you, and leaven is not to be seen with you within all your borders. And you shall inform your son in that day, saying, It is because of what Yah did for me when I came up from Mitzrayim. And it shall be as a sign to you on your hand, and as a reminder between your eyes, that the Torah of Yah is to be in your mouth. For with a strong hand Yah has brought you out of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard the law at its appointed time, from year to year. And it shall be, when Yah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers, and gives it to you, that you shall pass over to Yah, every one opening the womb, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock. The males belong to Yah, but every firstborn of a donkey you are to ransom with a lamb. And if you do not ransom it, then you shall break its neck. And every firstborn of man among your sons you are to ransom. And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this? Then you shall say to him, By strength of hand Yah brought us out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. And it came to be, when Pharaoh was too hardened to let us go, that Yah killed every firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I am slaughtering to Yah every male that opens the womb, but every firstborn of my sons I ransom. And it shall be as a sign on your hand, and as frontlets between your eyes. For by strength of hand Yah brought us out of Mitzrayim. And with that, it concludes this Torah portion of Bo. Actually, Bo. So obviously the we know about how Yahusha, how he is the Pesach offering, once and for all time. We know that it is his blood that saves us, that delivers us, that washes away our sins. And when Elohim sees it, he gives us favor. He passes over us. We also see how there will be, like, we also see how the Exodus, the first Exodus, is a foreshadowing of what the last Exodus is going to be like. The time when Yah delivers us from the modern Mitzrayim, the modern Babylon. I mean, Mitzrayim is just Babylon through the ages, to be honest. It's always been kind of the nations against Yasharel, and I have my opinions about what's going on right now in Yasharel, who's who, if you will. I won't get into that, but we kind of have to be as prepared as the children were back then, with our loins girded. He who hears, let him hear. With our staff in hand, or maybe our sword, perhaps. They were ready to go, and it's convicting to me when I read that, because perhaps, not perhaps, I know for sure that I need to do more preparations and more study, more time in the Word. Myself personally, I still want to do things like in my life, but I have to make sure that I prioritize the spiritual more than the physical or anything finite. yeah, I mean, it's this message, this reading. Honestly, I hope it's a blessing to someone, but it's a reminder to me that that I have to keep my eyes up. Uh, um, there's a lot more to life than you know wanting to do what you want to do all the time, and um, we all have some sort of set of skills and maybe even ambitions that um, don't necessarily have to be selfish. They can be used for the esteem of the Most High, um, but how to balance um, or how to give more time to Yah and how to surrender those things to Yah is something that each and every single one of us individually has to learn for ourselves, because when we give an account for our life, there's no one else is going to be standing with us from this world. I pray that Yahusha stands with me um, on that day, and that he stands with those who believe that he stands with Yasharel. As I mentioned in the last video, Elohim has not taken another bride. He never has, and he never will. It always has and always will be Yasharel that he saves, not the church. There is no replacement for his people, and if we want to be saved, we have to join Yasharel. And how do we know someone is of Yasharel? Is the Torah. Um, a lot of people probably think that I teach a sort of works-based salvation. I'm not teaching a works-based salvation. I'm teaching a works-proved salvation. Meaning, if you're saved, you will prove it by what you do and what you say, in indirectly, or directly, because there's a lot of people. There's millions and millions and millions of Christians out there that say they're saved, but they don't. You can't really. They're not really set apart. Some people may, act a certain way, but they say they're Christians, so it's like, whoa, I couldn't tell. So, that kind of thing. And I believe that we're not saved as a permission for lawlessness, but to lawfulness. And that law, the only law that Yah is concerned with, is His own, the one that He has established. And if we are to be a set-apart nation, if we are to be kings and priests, a king has to enforce the law, and a priest has to abide by that law, and to not profane any of the spiritual aspects of the law, and to reverence Yah all the time. And to do that is to obey His Torah. And I think I believe that obeying the Torah is the proof of set apartness. Like, for example, like the Shabbat, working as a server on a weekend. The weekends are probably the busiest, and the tips are probably the best on the weekends, because people are out and about with their families, and they're in a happy mood, so they're giving away money kind of to the servants and whatnot. But for me, that doesn't matter, as long as I have the Shabbat, because that's a sign that Elohim is with me. And if there's, I had a scheduling conflict this coming week about whether I'm having the Shabbat or not, and I told my manager, like, this is very important to me, and of course I can work in the evening, so that's not a problem. It's just I need the Shabbat, and I pray that Elohim gives me favor. Pray for me too, that I can stay in that spot. In Yah, it's difficult to work with a smaller business because when people are calling off on the same day, it makes it tough. But I pray that Elohim gives me favor with that. But all that being said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending time with me in this Torah reading. I pray that Elohim bachrus your week, that you have a restful Shabbat, and that you return soon. As always, the message remains: repent from transgressing the commandments of Elohim, and believe on the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach for eternal life. Shalom.